You ever wonder what is actually going on in your brain when you get one of those really powerful cravings? Well, today we're going to dive into the architecture of desire itself. Why are we built to want things so badly? And what can all this teach us about how our habits get formed in the first place? Let's get into it.
So, think about this for a second. You know that feeling of waiting for your morning coffee, or that package you ordered to finally arrive, or even just daydreaming about a meal you're really looking forward to? A lot of the time, that feeling of anticipation, that wanting, it actually feels even better than getting the thing. Isn't that kind of weird? Why does that happen? Well, that's the central mystery we're going to unpack today. To get to the bottom of that, we have to talk about the main character in this whole story, dopamine. Now, you've probably heard it called the pleasure chemical, right? But that's not really the whole story. It's much more accurate to think of it as the molecule of motivation. It's the neurochemical of desire. It's the thing that gets us off the couch and makes us do things. And it actually teaches our brain how to crave through this really fascinating four-stage process.
Okay, so check this out. This is how dopamine's job completely changes as a habit gets built. The first time you experience something amazing and unexpected, the dopamine spike happens after you get the reward. Your brain basically goes, "Whoa, that was awesome, let's remember that." But then, the next time, once a habit starts to form, just seeing the cue, like the logo of your favorite coffee shop, causes the dopamine to spike before you even do anything. That spike is the craving. It's what motivates you to walk through the door. Then, of course, there's the letdown. If you expect that coffee and for some reason you don't get it, dopamine tanks. But my favorite part is the surprise win. Let's say the reward is delayed. Dopamine starts to drop, but when it finally shows up, the spike is even bigger than before. It's your brain screaming, "See, it was worth waiting for. We should definitely do this again."
So that's the chemical process, right? But this goes so much deeper than just chemicals. It's actually about the physical architecture of our brains. It turns out our brains are structurally, physically built to prioritize wanting things. We are quite literally hardwired for desire.
And here is the absolute key idea. The amount of neural real estate, the sheer physical space your brain uses for wanting rewards, completely dwarfs the space it uses for actually liking them. And no, that's not a metaphor. It is a measurable, physical fact about how we're built. And this chart just puts it into perspective perfectly. It's wild. When researchers looked at a key reward center in the brain, they found that during the wanting phase, the craving, 100% of it lights up. The whole thing is firing. But during the liking phase, the actual enjoyment, only about 10%. That is just a staggering difference. It shows you exactly what our brains are designed to do. And this wanting system isn't just one spot. It's this massive neural superhighway that connects all these major brain areas. They're all working together to drive you forward. But the parts of the brain responsible for liking? They're just these tiny scattered clusters of cells. Scientists sometimes call them hedonic hotspots. They're like little islands floating in this vast, vast ocean of our brain's wanting engine.
This quote just nails it, doesn't it? Desire is the engine that drives behavior. It's not the reward itself that gets us to move. It's the anticipation of the reward, that feeling of wanting, of craving. That is the real engine behind pretty much every single action we take.
Okay, so our brains are basically sophisticated wanting machines. That's fascinating, but so what? What do we actually do with that information? Well, this is where it gets really powerful, because once you understand this, you can actually use your brain's fundamental wiring to your advantage. You can hack your own craving engine to build better habits.
And this idea leads us right to the heart of what's known as the second law of behavior change. The logic is simple. If anticipation is the real driver of our actions, then the most important step to building a new habit is to make it attractive. You have to make your brain want to do it.
And here is a brilliantly simple and practical way to do just that. It's a strategy called temptation bundling. The whole idea is to pair an action you already want to do with a habit you need to do. For example, maybe you only let yourself watch your favorite show while you're on the treadmill, or you only get to listen to your favorite podcast while you're doing your weekly meal prep. See what happens? The craving for the fun reward literally pulls the good habit along for the ride.
So that leaves us with one final thought. We know now that anticipation is the real driver. It's the true reward our brain is chasing. So the question for you is, what's one habit you could start building today, right now, by bundling it with something you already crave? Because that is how you finally put your brain's powerful wanting engine to work for you.